Hey everyone! So today we have a huge challenge ahead of us, and that is proposing to a girlfriend who is a romantic. The story is that I finally made the decision to do this big step, but every time we meet new people who have been engaged, she always asks, oh, so how did you get engaged? How did he propose? And she's always so interested to learn the story behind it. And over the 2 years we've been together, I realized I have to pull off something special so that whenever somebody asks her, what's our story, she could tell something pretty cool. So I have a whole big scheme set up of how we're gonna do this, but we still need to prepare for that. And I decided to take you along with it to see if I will be able to pull it off and make an impression on my girlfriend, and even more importantly, if she's gonna say yes, which I hope she will. So now with the stakes clear on the table, let's get this journey started. So initially the proposal will start with a grand scheme, but I will tell you more about it a bit later. Right now we're in the car and we're ready to go and set up the final stage of the grand scheme. So we are at our first location, which is getting a bunch of flowers. We're now nearing the second location, which is a super important location. It's codenamed The Ring. It's a funny story too how I managed to get the size of it, because there was no way for me to know it. There were no rings around. Her friends didn't know the size of it. So I went with the most ninja way possible. And that is, I woke up at the middle of the night. I took this string, actually I have it with me. I'll show it you with post-editing. So I took this string and super ninjally, I put it on her ring finger. Then I measured the distance. I gently took it off and then went to the bathroom, attached the both ends, and there I was. I succeeded. Our third stage is visiting a big store where we're going to get a bunch of candles and some champagne. So we have everything we need for the final stage, which is the location we're going to head to right now. And after we're done there, we're going to go and prepare for the grand scheme. So we're now at this super fancy apartment that I rented a few weeks ago. This is where the final stage is going to happen. It has a wonderful view, which is one of the selling points. Initially, my plan was to propose in Thailand, in a nice beach or somewhere outside the country. But since we live under COVID times, I decided, you know what? I'll make a special occasion and vacation in our city where we live. I will explain more details on how exactly the proposal is gonna happen and how I'm gonna use this space for it. But first, we still need to head back to the city and to pull off and prepare the grand scheme. So let's get going. So now we're at the stage of pulling off the grand scheme. And so I'm finally gonna tell you what it's gonna be. Today, it's been exactly 2 years since the day me and my girlfriend have met. We met at 11 p.m. and then we went all around the city, the capital of Lithuania, Vilnius, visiting various places, talking all night long. And so I've decided to use these envelopes where my girlfriend is going to have to go through all of those places following the hints in each envelope. And eventually, after visiting all of those locations, she's going to have to come to the superb apartment where I'm gonna be waiting with the surprise. Now, but we still have some really big challenges to pull off. First of all, I need to visit a couple places, including a bar where I'm going to have to convince the bartender to take the envelope and do me a favor to pass it on to my girlfriend. But after the bar, I also have to visit a couple of places where I'll have to leave these envelopes attached at public places and really hope that nobody is going to take them and steal them away. So I guess I'm just going to have some faith and hope for the best. So whether we're going to be able to pull it off or not, let's go check it out. So I'll be honest, I went into the bar being really nervous. I was really worried the bartender was gonna look at me like crazy and say, what the fuck do you want from me? But I have happy news. There was a lady at the bar and she was super nice. She actually was excited. She was like, oh, that's such a great idea, because I explained to her a bit about what I'm doing. And she took it with joy and she said, no worries, I'm gonna pass it on. So, oh, that's a huge relief. So now we're going to the places where I'm going to leave the envelopes and keep my fingers crossed that no one is gonna steal them. So let's hope for the best and let's go to the next location. So we've made it up the mountain. It's already freaking hot and I did some cardio training, so I'm all sweaty, but that's part of being romantic. Now here's the location where I'm going to leave the envelope, because this is exactly where we first kissed. So I've attached the envelope, not in a very romantic way, but I attached it in a way where it's going to be some trouble to take it off for my girlfriend or for anyone else, and hopefully people will think, it's not worth the trouble to take it. So again, fingers crossed, and off to the next location. So we may be bumping into the first problem, which is I checked the McDonald's cafe and I went there early. I left an envelope to the cafe barista, but I just checked online and it seems that the Mac cafe, it closes down at 7 a.m. So I'm gonna go pass through it and hopefully it's not closed for some reason, or maybe they left the envelope on the table. We'll see. So I have bad news and I have good news. So the bad news, I come into McDonald's and yes, the Mac Cafe is closed. And I'm thinking, look. So I already started thinking about alternatives, but I asked one of the girls there and she was super polite and she said yes, her colleague, he passed on the envelope and she's gonna give it to my girlfriend. And oh my God, I felt better, much better right away. I'm almost surprised just by how nice people are and how helpful they are. I was really, when I was planning this, I was really stressing that, shoot, you know, people are not gonna help me, they're gonna think I'm crazy. But again, people are just, I guess, nicer than sometimes you expect them to be. And it's great to see that and to experience that. So I've set up the envelope pretty high so that no kiddo hopefully is going to be able to reach it. My girlfriend is tiny, so probably she'll have trouble to take it down as well. And I don't know exactly how she's gonna do it, but that's part of the thrill. And now we're off to the final location. Oh, and this is cool. I didn't expect to see this here. So I just got scolded by the guy for filming. So back to our journey. Now we're in kind of a race situation. I mean, racing against my girlfriend. So I know she's already on my tail. The thing is, I am walking to the apartment and that's a 20-minute walk and she's gonna drive, which is a 5-minute drive. So she may gain up, but luckily my feet are way longer than hers and hopefully I'll be there first and be able to prepare everything before she comes. So now the thing I wanted to talk to you about while we're walking down to the apartment, and by the way, I'm gonna talk for a few minutes, so if you find my talking boring, just skip ahead to the next part, which is more action oriented. But if you're still here, let's have a chat. So I just wanted to talk about a few reasons of why I decided to make this big step and to propose. So first of all, I love my girlfriend. She's amazing, and obviously that's the main reason. But another one which I found interesting about proposals is that my girlfriend's girlfriends, a lot of them are in relationships for 3 years, 4 years, 5, 7 years, even longer sometimes, and the guys don't propose. And it's not like the girls don't want it. They actually want for them to propose, and I kept asking myself, why don't guys do it? And I do not know if I'm right or not, but I'm concerned that there's maybe an issue with commitment between guys of my age and younger guys and even older guys. I think it's part of being a man to be able to commit, to follow through. It's a scary decision, obviously, because that means you're not gonna look at other chicks anymore. And there's also this other thing which my brother told me about. When I started telling him about proposing, he started talking to me about, this is a religious thing, this is Christian stuff, it's old school, like stupid, you can just be with another person. And I understand all of this, talk, and I'm not religious myself. But then I said this to my brother. I said, I get it, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm not the only person in this relationship. There's two of us, and I know for certain that my girlfriend, she values the whole symbol of commitment, the proposal, the marriage. And yeah, it's a bit scary, but part of my philosophy is that you need to do scary things. You need to do things which scare you, because that's the way we grow in a relationship, especially like the committed relationship. That's gonna push your buttons. That's gonna, not make your life necessarily easier, but those are perfect conditions to grow. And that's yet another reason why I'm about to make this step. So the craziest thing happened to my fortune. The doors are locked and they don't work. And I called the person who's responsible. She said the code has to work. It's not working, and my girlfriend's coming already. So hopefully somebody comes out. Yeah, there's no adventure without misfortune. So after a very stressful event, there's a guy who lives here. He came to the same door and entered the code and just started bashing the door, and bam, the door's open. And he was my savior. Thank you, Manny. So now I'm at the apartment. I'm even more stressed because there's even less time left. I need to set up the candles. So my girlfriend is going to find the candles all the way through the hall, which are gonna lead to the flowers and to the last envelope. And the envelope is gonna say, go to the balcony. And in the balcony, there I'm gonna be. And then I will propose. Let's do this. Lucky me, I'm gaining some extra time because she couldn't find the envelope. So I had to guide her a little bit. Seems I really hit it quite well. So good news, she said yes. Any comments?
I I can't believe it that it's happening.
So you weren't expecting it.
No, at all.
Good job, Ninja Rokas. Was it romantic enough? I was telling the audience that I'm trying to be very romantic. Was it romantic?
Yes, it was really romantic.
Yes! So, mission accomplished, one big step forward, and let's go celebrate. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for my wonderful girlfriend. And let's keep owning our journeys.